Just like last time, let's not waste any time. I'm just going to tell you why I don't think Overwatch 2 is as good as the original, and I honestly think this even more than I did before, so let's get right into it. Now, this first one might sound a little entitled at first, but I promise if you just think about it, it's pretty terrible. And that is the fact that not everybody gets every hero at launch. And the problem with that is Overwatch isn't a game like Paladins, where you just lock in and you play one character for the whole game. Overwatch is made around counterplay. As much as the devs want to tell you it isn't, that is what Overwatch is. It is a game made around counterplay. Someone has a Pharah on their team, you switch to Soldier or Sojourn or Widow, a hit scan of some kind, or some god tier Hanzo, so on and so forth. We all understand this. So when you lock certain characters behind a paywall or behind an insane time wall, like last season it was tier 55 to get all the new characters, and if you didn't get them you have to do a bunch of challenges this season to get them, and this season it's tier 45 for Ramatra. So while you're grinding for 60 hours to get your new character, everyone else is getting good with them and learning how they work with all the other heroes, what they counter, what they don't, and you just get to hop in halfway through the season or whatever when you finally work up to actually earning the hero in a game that's based on counterplay. Like, you are playing catch-up constantly in this game now, when before everyone was at an equal level. You could practice with whoever you want, whenever you want, but now that isn't a choice. Unless you get out your credit card and pay that sexy $10 for horrible skins and the right to play characters. I don't know. It's just gross to me. Continuing with the feeling of playing catch-up all the time, there's the fact that it's been confirmed that your rank gets lowered at the beginning of every season now, and after not playing for a long period of time. Now, why is that a bad thing? Tons of other games have it where you lose rank slowly if you don't play over time, or your rank gets reset in between seasons. That happens in tons of other games. So why is it a problem in Overwatch 2? Well, it's actually not a very simple answer, and the reason that is because of the way Overwatch's matchmaking and its ranking system works, because they're completely separate. The reason having these two systems be completely separate is an issue will take a little second to explain, but I promise you it's bad. So in almost every other competitive game, your rank is directly tied to your MMR as well as matchmaking. Your MMR determines what your rank is, as well as what people you go against in games. That is not the case for Overwatch 2. Your MMR only decides the people you go against, but it does not determine your rank. This becomes a huge problem when they start doing D ranks, because your rank might go down, but your MMR stays the same. That means when you were fighting against those GM players last season, and now you're in gold this season, you're still going to be going against those same GM players, but your rank will be gold. This spirals out of control for players who don't play a lot. They could be in top 500, and maybe if all they do is their placements, every season they're going to drop a rank or two until suddenly top 500 players are playing in silver against other top 500 players, so it makes the whole game harder for everybody, and it makes the whole game feel less rewarding to the people who are really good, because they're forced to play in a lower rank, even though they are still being matched against other extremely high skill players. Their rank just doesn't show it, because no one knows what your rank is based off of. It's just a completely arbitrary thing that we don't get to know anymore. So it just makes the game feel grosser when you are fighting for your life in silver, when last season you were having easier games in platinum. And the thing is, you probably were having easier games in platinum, because if you're a new player or you've been playing a lot, you may have gotten a little bit better at the game, so your MMR went up while your rank went down. So silver is the new platinum, and then every season that goes by, it's just going to get lower and lower. I'm talking about this on a personal level, by the way. So if you're someone who doesn't play all the time, but you're an extremely high skill player, you could be top 500 rated with your MMR. You won't ever be able to see this because we're not allowed to see our MMR, but your rank is silver. So the thing that's really weird is, for all the other top 500 players that play a lot and actually got their rank to top 500, you will be put against them in a match, but you can't see their rank because of course you can't. So your rank will be silver, but the enemy team will be ranked top 500. And that's completely fine in Overwatch's matchmaking scenario because they do not take your rank into account. They take the invisible MMR into account, so your games will always feel tougher than they should be, and it's only going to get worse as time goes by, especially for people who don't play a lot. Moving past the travesty that is the Overwatch 2 matchmaking system, let's talk about loot boxes. Now, once upon a time, the whole gaming world thought that loot boxes were a horribly addictive, terrible system that should never be implemented in any game. Yet they were. They were in Star Wars Battlefront, they were in Call of Duty, they were in Overwatch, they were in anything that any game company could think they could make some money off of. And the public thought was that it was extremely scummy and distasteful. It was like gambling. Now, today, let's come back to 2022, we have gone so far past that point that people actually want loot boxes in their game. Now, why is that? I'm one of the people who likes loot boxes, by the way, but hey. Now, the reason for this is because with loot boxes, there was always a chance for those who didn't pay any money to get the premium content, and it didn't necessarily have to take 97 years to do like it would today. Now, let's just compare Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. Overwatch 1, let's do a really simple one. Arcade mode always had at least 1 or 2 modes every single day. Then if you finished a game in that mode, you'd get a loot box. Each loot box had 4 items in it. So, you had 4 chances to get a very nice skin or whatever thing you wanted in every single loot box, and it would only take you, let's average it out to 10 minutes of play every day. You'd just assuming you get the minimum. 1 a day, 10 minutes of play. Nice rhymes, eh? Now today, what does the grind look like? Well, it looks like completing all of your weekly challenges, which nets you a hot 60 coins. Now let's just remember, it took 10 minutes and 1 game for 1 loot box in Overwatch 1. How long does it take to complete your weekly challenges? I'd say it would probably be around 6 hours of gameplay time if you're really grinding it. So 6 hours, what do you get for those 6 hours and those 60 coins? Nothing. There's not a single thing in the shop that costs 60 coins. What you would most likely be wanting to work towards is one of those epic skins that are 2,000 coins. But let's say that's a little too frivolous. Let's just really make things sound worse. Get one of those epic skins, those purple ones that are most of the time just a recolor. 1,000 coins. So, if you want one singular skin, that's 1,000 coins, not even the best kind of skin in the game. If you want one of those skins, it's going to take you how long? It'll take you 16 weeks and 5 days. In real terms, that is 16 weeks where you do every single one of your weekly challenges, and I mean every single one, and then on the final week, or whatever week in the middle, I don't care, you can do 2/3 of them. So, after those 17 weeks, you get 1 purple skin. Overwatch 1, you play the game for 6 hours, you would have gotten many purple skins if you had none already. Moving past that, let's talk about the fact that there is no such thing as leveling up in Overwatch 2. The only form of progression in Overwatch 2 is the Battle Pass. And if you want to really try and make things sound better, the weekly challenges and competitive, because you can earn competitive points. What that means is you can't level up at all, and if you have not bought the premium Battle Pass, you are earning nothing at all 3/4 of the time, and the other quarter of the time you are getting the worst pickings from the Battle Pass you could possibly get, with no other rewards in sight. That, combined with not even being able to tell your exact rank, makes it so that the only form of real progression in this game besides the Battle Pass is earning comp points for golden guns. That is the only thing in this game that you can consistently work towards. There's nothing else. There is nothing to work towards other than the Battle Pass and golden guns. I thought Overwatch 1 was lacking with progression. And that was when you could get 4 items every hour, pretty much, for playing. And now, I'd be lucky to get an item in an hour of play. So you can you can kind of guess my opinion on progression from that. Continuing with stuff that makes you feel good for playing the game, the fact that the on fire system has been completely removed. But not actually removed, because when you get that hot 5-man diva ult, you'll still hear her say, but there's no visual, there's no bar, your portrait doesn't get set on fire, no one else knows that you're on fire, it's just completely out of the game. It makes playing the game feel less satisfying, actively. Why? Why is this removed? Whose feelings were hurt when you were on fire? Whose experience was made worse because of the on fire system being in the game? Like, the game is just actively less fun for no reason. What about medals? And before anyone says it's to prevent toxicity, you can just press tab in game and see everybody's stats in very high detail, way better than you ever could in Overwatch 1, but they got rid of medals. There's no such thing as gold damage, gold healing, gold limbs, gold anything, because it's just not a thing in the game anymore. Tied into that, there is no post-game lobby or post-game rewards anymore, and that was 100% taken out of the game because of them trying to quote-unquote prevent toxicity. Even though Overwatch 2 is way more toxic than anything I experienced in Overwatch 1, but hey, I didn't say that. Connected to the whole trying to stop toxicity thing, the fact that if anyone on your or the enemy team has been reported, I'm not sure if it's at all or just recently, voice chat will be recorded. And what that causes is it makes everyone less likely to talk in chat and very, very much less likely to join voice chat, which actively makes the game less fun. Moving on to stuff that I find just extraordinarily scummy, the fact that all the old skins, especially the event skins, cost money now. So back in the day, around Halloween time, you would earn Halloween loot boxes. And in all of those loot boxes, I'm pretty sure what it was is at least one drop was guaranteed to be an event drop. It could have been an event voice line, it could have been an event skin, don't know. But all you needed to do to get those loot boxes was play the game the same way you've been playing the whole time. Now, what does that look like in Overwatch 2? Play the game during the event and give us $20 too, and then you can have the skin. Wow, what a fun event, man. I feel like I've really earned my keep here. Thank you so much, Blizzard, for letting me give you $20 during this Christmas so I can get a skin. Oh, man. Thanks. It's not like I could have gotten it for free for just playing your game last year, but you know. Connected to the extremely scummy skins, how about the Overwatch League skins? You remember when they costed 100 coins? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember. They all cost 150 now. Their excuse, of course, would be the home and away skins. But hey, you know what's funny? If you had the original skins, you get the home and away skins too. They just made it cost more so that you had to buy multiple packages of the coins instead of just the 100. Or the free 100 you get just makes it entirely useless. So they can say they're giving you a reward when in reality you can't do anything with it at all. Thanks, Blizzard. You're so nice. Let's move past that and wrap this up with what will probably be my most controversial point, and that is the fact that I think the free-to-play model itself is a terrible idea. Now just stick with me, I'll tell you why. Now, to make this extremely simple, since there is no such thing as levels in Overwatch 2, and the closest equivalent is the Battle Pass, let's just compare what you could earn in between each other. For each level in Overwatch 1, you got 4 items. For each quote-unquote level in Overwatch 2, if you paid for the Battle Pass, you get 1 item. So 4 to 1. And that's assuming that you are paying in Overwatch 2. If you're not paying, that's 4 to 0.25. So in Overwatch 1, you would be getting 16 times the items for the same amount of playtime, if one level in Overwatch 1 is equivalent to 1 tier in the Battle Pass. And it is roughly the same if you take out the weekly and daily challenges. Now let's say that you want to earn things in a relatively similar way to the way you did in Overwatch 1. So that would be buying the Battle Pass and buying extra skins. But we'll ignore the extra skins for now. So let's say you're playing Overwatch 2 for 2 years. And for those 2 years, you buy every single battle pass. And with every single battle pass, you would have been getting a quarter of the content that you would have been getting in Overwatch 1. And after 2 years of getting every single battle pass, and this is assuming American, I'm Canadian, I would be paying even more. After 2 years of buying every single battle pass, you would have now paid more than double of what it would have cost to just have bought Overwatch 1 straight out. And you would have gotten less for it. 4 times less for it, in fact, while you have paid more than double. I don't think there's anything else to say. I mean, the defense against it is it's always your choice, whether you buy the battle pass or not. It doesn't affect the gameplay. The loot boxes in Overwatch 1 didn't affect the gameplay either. It's just the fact that you're actively getting a way, way worse deal in Overwatch 2 for way, way more money. It's just scummy to me. I would have much rather had to pay the $40, $50, $60, I don't care if it was $70 or $80 straight out, and had a leveling system, had loot boxes and everything, because if you're playing this game anywhere past 6 months, you're going to be paying more for it than you would have for just buying the game outright. And let's remember, that is not even taking into account buying extra skins. That is just assuming you buy the battle pass and nothing else. That is $10 every 2 months. $60 a year. It's basically turning a game that was pay once into a subscription and you get less for it. That's really it. That's all I gotta say. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. I hope you enjoyed. I know I kind of started to lose it at the end, but hey, wouldn't you?